Hi everyone, this is MyBlue. I am a girl from Serbia, born and raised, and today I'm going to react to a video. But I didn't choose a video, I'm going to spontaneously try to search for it. So I just typed Serbian language, I'm on YouTube, and I already reacted to some videos and I watched some videos. But let's take this one. Serbian, Bosnian, Croatian, what's the difference? Serbian mapping, that's the channel. So just for you to have some sort of background, I'm currently living in Germany. I'm finishing studying, I submitted my thesis, and I'm studying linguistics. So I'm not studying Serbian linguistics per se. I do know something a bit about my native language, but I'm studying linguistics in general and mostly English linguistics. That means I'm probably going to be aware of some things, and some things are probably going to surprise me.
If you were ever in a conversation with a person from the Western Balkans and found out that you have the balls to assume they speak a certain language just because they come from a certain country, you probably found out how bad of an idea that was. This video should serve you as a guideline on how to play real-life Minesweeper.
Minesweeper! I forgot about that! I used to play that all the time when I had like my first computer. Or my second, I don't know now. Just want to let you know that this is a touchy subject. So Serbian, Bosnian, Croatian, and I guess some other people exclude Montenegrin, for example. And I think the first comment here is, can't wait for the war to start. So I know it's gonna start.
It could also be that you yourself are from the Balkans, and you already are the Stephen Hawking of Balkan politics and history, of course. You surely must know about the linguistic similarities and differences in this region.
I made a video on that.
Case, how and why we have so many languages in such a small part of the world, even though
Okay, I haven't searched for it, but I don't know what his native language is and where he's from, but I'm gonna search for that after the video.
Let's be clear, I am no linguist or whatsoever. I am just a person who grew up in Bosnia, where we have a quite clear understanding of how fucking stupid it is that people who perfectly understand each other learn different languages in school, depending on where they live in this tiny crazy triangle in...
That's something that I've heard. What did he add? He added like nacho or something like that. Anyway, that's I haven't I didn't grow up in Bosnia, so I don't really know how it is. And I'm sure, as he already stated, that in different areas there are different kind of rules and or different schools. And I guess I knew that you could learn. Well, some people from Bosnia say I learned Bosnian. Some say I know Serbian. Some people say Croatian. Yeah, I think that's a bit confusing, but they can all understand each other, hopefully. And if you learn Croatian, I know that you don't need to learn the Cyrillic alphabet.
As you may know, in Western Balkans we nowadays have Slovenian, Croatian, Bosnian, Serbian, Macedonian, Albanian, and Montenegrin.
Yes.
First of all, since the Albanian language from the ethnic majority in the disputed territory of Kosovo has nothing to do with any other Slavic languages, or as a matter of fact, it doesn't belong to any language family on Earth in general, then we can...
But it does. Albanian is Indo-European. But it doesn't just... It's not the closest to any... Like, it doesn't have a family of languages. Yeah, it's just on its own.
Slovenian and Macedonian, since they're linguistically distinct from our three main contestants.
So I think that's already a big discussion. That's something that I learned in during my studies. It's like, where does a language start and end? Where does a dialect start? Where does an accent start? So there's still a lot of debate, and there's no guidelines for that. So an umbrella term for that would be variation. If you want to be you don't want to offend anyone, or you don't want to go into details because there's no court for these things, you know what I mean? I guess if you have your own country, then you can claim, for example, like Montenegrin is Montenegro, before that it was Serbian. But naturally language changes, and that's the changes that we've seen in Montenegro. And they might be intentional changes, but they might be also natural, because language is not going to be the same as it was 200 years ago. Some things are slightly going to change, maybe because of interaction with other languages, geographically, or just because of isolation. Language is going to change. So if you think of a language, it's dynamic. That's just what it is. Take it as it is. Now, what is a different language? What is a different, dialect? I don't really know. I can tell you that when I went to Slovenia, I found it very difficult to understand. Surely I could understand some things, but for me, that's a different language, because I really, really struggled in understanding half of what has been said. Macedonian, I would understand something, but it's not that I would 100% understand everything. So to me, this is a clear indication that there might be a bigger difference than between, let's say, Serbian and Croatian, because I can understand them pretty well, like let's say 90% of what they're saying, because obviously there's going to be variation in terms of words they use, in terms of like some dialectal or like syntax or rules or morphology, so on and so forth. And I guess the person is going to, or Serbian marketing is going to go into that in a bit more detail, but I don't want to make claims that this is a language. I just want to point out similarities and differences. Let's see what he's going to say.
Any other person from ex-Yugoslavia you want to, these two aren't intelligible for everyone who speaks the other three.
It is.
So,
okay, wait. He's saying Montenegro will be excluded from the discussion as the supposed language conceives very little recognition even from native Montenegrins. Didn't know that. Most Montenegrins who don't even identify as Serbs say they speak Serbian today. Montenegrin. Yeah, I mean, I have one friend from Montenegro that I'm really close to, and we never really talked about this. It was never a topic because we understood each other perfectly, and also she studied in Serbia, in Belgrade, so.
In the Republic of Croatia, the official language is, well, Croatian. In Serbia, it is Serbian, and in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's, that's where the trouble comes. And we have three so-called constituent peoples who each have their own language.
Yeah.
These are namely Serbs, Croats, and Bosniaks. Up until 1992, we had a unified Yugoslavian Federation, where the official language was Serbo-Croatian. Back then, we had Serbia as the only one of the future Yugoslav republics who is independent, and who, after the victory in World War I, thought it would be a great idea to annex a crap ton of Austrian lands, and instead of keeping the name Serbia, give all of the now liberated peoples, namely the Croats and Slovenes, split authority and importance within the country. Prior to this, the Serbs in Serbia had their own standardized Serbian language. On the other hand, we had the Croatian language, which was spoken, well, by the Croats, but under Austrian rule, who spoke its own version of the language, frankly very similar, but they just called it Croatian. So basically, we have a standardized version of Serbian and Croatian, both based on the Eastern Herzegovinian Shtokavian dialect, which got
Yeah, that's also something I talk about in my book. I divide a Serbian dialect into several dialects. Actually, I don't divide them. the literature divides them. Štokavsko narečje, or Shtokavian dialect, is definitely one of the big dialects. I just realized here that he wrote down Shtokavian with a sh and not sh. So I was like, oh, interesting. I don't think I would write it like that, but I guess he has his own reasons.
Vienna Literary Agreement. Of course, the reality of this agreement wasn't as simple, and we didn't just magically get one language. That the Serbian, Croatian, and Slovenian linguists that attended this meeting came to the conclusion that their languages are, well, quite remarkably similar. With this, they agreed upon some standard rules and guidelines for the three languages, laying down the foundation for their modern counterparts.
If you grew up in Serbia, you definitely know about Vuk Stefanović Karadžić. He's a very important figure, and we have him in like his picture in our classrooms always.
Despite the fact that Slovenia is to a great extent unintelligible with the other two.
That's something that I talked about. Currently, I don't know how it was before, but currently it's a bit more difficult for me to understand. That doesn't mean that I don't understand some things, of course I do, but I understand way more when I speak to Croats.
The standard varieties are mutually intelligible, excluding the crazy dialects spoken somewhere in the mountains. Speaking of dialects, we officially have Shtokavian, Chakavian, and Kaikavian.
Exactly.
They're literally differentiated and called by the way how people say the word Croats. In Shtokavian, it would be either Shto
or Šta. So, Shto and Šta, I mean, we just use it in Serbia. Almost everyone, I would say. When you say Kaikavian, Kai, I always think of Zagreb. I think everyone thinks of Zagreb. But sure, it is spoken in different regions as well. And yeah, Chakavian is most spoken on the coast, like in Croatia. And the question word is Cha. But they have a kind of like a softer Cha. I don't know how to say it. Don't be mad.
Yat. And therefore we have Ikavian, Iekavian, or Ekavian.
And that's something that I wanted to, something again that I wrote in my book, Zdravo Srbijo. There are two kind of dialects, like dialect divisions, and that's the variation of what and variation of yat. Many people think that Shtokavian means Ekavian, but that doesn't have to be. So you can have mish and mash. Mishes and mashes.
As, for example, Kaikavian and Ekavian are associated with Croatian, and Ekavian is exclusively associated with Serbian.
Yeah.
These can sometimes overlap and leave you wondering where the fuck this person learned to speak.
So there are associations, but it doesn't necessarily have to be so. With language, is not only limited to the border, so.
The short answer is the breakup of Yugoslavia. And the long answer is, as everyone starts getting sick of each other and starts building their own countries, they don't really want to say they speak the same language as their ex-enemies. Therefore, are the social, political, ideological, and national viewpoints of the newly formed republics the deciding factor in the division of the Serbo-Croatian language?
My battery just died. Okay, I want to say that I do agree that politics definitely has a role, and I don't know how big of a role that was, and probably is, because I wasn't there when they were deciding. But I will, based on that political influence, you know, when you have different countries, obviously you want to, well, not obviously, but naturally you want to be distinguished, and my prediction is that those languages, even though they're intelligible right now, are going to change quite a lot, probably. Just because there are different regulations in different countries. And I think in, I don't know how many years, but we'll definitely go look at, we're gonna call them different languages. For now, we still understand each other perfectly.
Since all this, from a linguistic perspective, makes very, very little sense. Distinct dialects are a much better way of differentiating someone's speech than the politically induced languages. A person from Slavonia, a part of Croatia, who speaks Ijekavian Croatian, may perfectly understand a person from Krajina, Bosnian, who speaks either the Bosnian or the Serbian standard form of also Ijekavian. That same person from Croatia wouldn't understand a word his fellow Dalmatian Croat says, as they speak the Ikavian dialect of Croatian.
Yeah.
Shtokavian and Kaikavian.
Okay, that is true. In Croatia, depending on where you are, you're definitely gonna have issues understanding each other, which I think is normal even for Serbia, like north and south, and you know, there's gonna be differences in like the way you pronounce things, the words you use, some grammatical differences. For example, one of the things that I noticed when I was visiting one of my aunts from Bosnia, and she just prefers different words, or like uses some different constructions that we do have in our language, but I would just never say it because I think in Serbian we tend to avoid like borrowings, for example, or we just tend to use maybe some other synonyms. So they use some words, some other synonyms, or like constructions that we still have in Serbian that are grammatically correct, but we just prefer one construction for some things, but doesn't mean that the other construction is not correct. And that's the one that is mostly used in Bosnia, you know? So like these kind of things that are just can be tendencies to prefer one or the other.
It really doesn't matter how people call these languages, since it's a scientific fact that these are so similar to the point it shouldn't be linguistically differentiated.
Yeah, I think that the conclusion is that for one, we can understand each other, so these languages are mutually intelligible. And second is we don't know what the difference between a dialect and a language is, because theoretically we do, but in practice we don't. So I think someone's gonna watch this video and they're gonna be like, no way, these are different languages, and someone's gonna be like, they're the same language, why was everyone bullshitting? My conclusion is mutually intelligible and we don't know shit as linguists. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. Bye.